Okay, hello everybody, my name is George Vigiorge. This is an examination for 120 hours of TEFL exam. Okay, so let's start with the topic. Today we're going to talk about past simple, when to use it, how to use it, what is its structure, and some of the main rules that we have during that tense. So let's start first with the structure in its affirmative form. What's an affirmative form? When you want to say that something actually did happen, we use the affirmative form. So affirmative form for the regular verbs, and there's an affirmative form for irregular verbs, for example. What's the difference? Regular verbs, as such, they have a structure and that repeats every time we want to turn a regular verb from a present simple form to a past simple form. An irregular verb we have to learn because every regular verb acts differently when it's changed from an infinitive version into a past simple. So, what's the definition for affirmative form in past simple for the affirmation? So it's subject plus verb, and the verb is being added with ed. So the word work in this case is a regular verb. So what we are going to do, we are only going to add an ed to it. So he, it's a subject, worked, that's a verb, and yesterday, we're going to see this later, it's a time adverb that explains us when did that exact situation happened. Okay? What happens with a regular verb? We choose the verb make. Make is not a regular verb, so its version in the past simple is not maked, it's actually made. So once again, we have a subject, in this case that's a she. Make changes into made. A phone call last week. So this is an object of the sentence, a phone call, and a time lapse that happened last week. Okay? Here's a little list of regular verbs, and this is the three main groups that we have when we change regular verbs into a past tense. If it's a general verb that finishes in any consonant, we add ed. So like verb dialed, filled, guessed, hopped, looked, marked. Okay? As you see, ed is not necessarily pronounced like ed. It can be pronounced like t or d depending on the word. Okay? Then we have what happens if the verb finishes with a e. Then we only have to add d sound at the end. So baked, cared, eased, filled, greased, hated. Okay? These are all words that were finished with e at the end. So we have the words that finish with y. What happens there? We change the y letter into e, and then we add ed. So fry becomes fried. It's written with y changes into I, and then we add ed at the end. So fry is changed to fried, hurry to hurried, marry to married, pride to pride, spy to spied, and try to tried. Okay? So this is the main three types of regular words in present simple. What happens to regular words on the other side? There's also a list, but we have to memorize it. It's the same thing. Why? Because they're called irregular, because they don't have the pattern that repeats every time. Excellent. So what's the second structure form? When we don't want to use the sentence in the affirmative form, we need a negative form. Okay? Past simple, same as present simple, has auxiliary verbs that is do, but in the past tense now. Okay? So do becomes did, and everything else is repeated. So it's not do not, but did not. Something else happens to a main verb. The main verb goes back into infinitive version or in the present simple version as we know it. So, for example, it's a subject plus did not or didn't. This can be written two different ways, the shorter version and a longer version. It's even pronounced differently. Did not, didn't. Okay? And infinitive without the to. What does this mean? Infinitive version of the main verb, in this case work, and in this case make. Okay? So let's check the sentence. As we saw the sentence in affirmative form, it was he worked yesterday. Now it becomes he did not work yesterday. Okay? So worked becomes work. The second one, she didn't make a phone call last week. So what is happening here? Did not, we can write it like a didn't, make a phone call last week. So this is a negative form. What's next? A structure for interrogative form. What does interrogative form mean? It literally means asking questions in past simple. So, did plus subject plus infinitive without a to. Okay, infinitive version of the word. Once again, we're using the same sentences, so you notice the difference between affirmative, negative, and interrogative form. So, did, auxiliary verb, he, subject, work, the main verb, yesterday, the time when it happens. And did she make a phone call yesterday? Once again, did, auxiliary verb, she, a subject, make, a main verb, a phone call, an object, and yesterday, a time when this happened. Okay, let's go to another thing. One of the verbs that the rules for the other verbs don't apply is the verb to be. Okay, as you can see in many different tenses, the verb to be is a special verb. It reacts by its own rules. So what happens to verb to be in the past simple? It has two forms, was and were. So if I say I am in present simple, I'm going to change it to I was. If I say you were, that means in the present simple, you are. He, she, it is. He, she, it was. Okay, that's affirmative form. So, I was there 2 months ago. Excellent. Subject plus was the verb plus not, that's for a negative form. So, she was not happy. Was or were plus subject plus the question mark, so we have interrogative form. So, were they right? Excellent. So as you see, verb to be in past simple form changes a little bit. It has its own set of rules, but it's much more simple than any other verb because we only need to learn these two new words, that is was and were. Excellent. So let's go. When do we actually use past simple tense? Okay, it's one of many tenses that we can use to express things that happened in the past. But what are the main 3 points? The event is always in the past. The event is completed or finished. We say, like, for understand the time and or place of the event. What does this mean? Like, we have to know when did it happen or where did it happen, okay? So, it doesn't matter how long did it lasted. The most important thing is that it started and was finished in the past, okay? So, let me show you what I'm talking about. Some people say, like, doesn't matter if it's a short event or a long event. If the event started and ended in the past, it doesn't matter. Here are 2 examples for short events. Jay finished his homework on time. Okay? He only finished it in one exact moment. For example, the other one, Paula took her medicine last night. Did it take a long time? Not necessarily. She just took her medicine and the event was finished. But look on the other side when I say long events in the past. We danced all night long, okay? We went to a party, we had a good time, and we danced. Did we dance 1 minute? No, we danced during the whole night, okay? The other one, they sang for the 3 hours at the concert, okay? So if we want to see, I don't know, Rolling Stones or whatever, their concerts are usually 3 hours long. And if I want to say I saw that concert yesterday, they were doing their activity for 3 hours straight. When did it start? In the past. Where did it finish? In the past also. Excellent. Other thing that is extremely important in past simple are the time adverbs, okay? There are many ways to express when did the event happen. We can use the exact dates, exact time, or these 3 adverbs are the main one that you're going to see, especially in the simple sentences in the past simple. So look one. I saw him last week. Okay, saw is the main verb. It's a regular verb. In present simple is see. In past it becomes a saw. Last is our time adverb that we can use last with last week, last month, last year, last decade, last century. Okay, so that means it happened the week, day, month, year, or whatever we want to use it before today. Okay, the second one that also appears a lot in past simple, it's ago. Okay, his grandfather died 2 years ago. Okay, that means from that moment to today, 2 years have passed by. Okay, once again, 2 years we can change with 3 days, we can change with 4 centuries, or whatever we want. Ago. Okay? And the last and most common one when we speak in past simple, things that happened yesterday. So, my girlfriend came here yesterday. Okay? As you see, there are many more other ways, but these are the three simple, or the main one, or the one that you as a student are going to be most acquainted by in the future. So, thank you very much. That was basically everything. Any other information that you have, please communicate with me.